What is going on? Episode 120 coming at you in a little less than a minute. Today we're talking about habits that kill your growth. You can get the most recent episode of the podcast in your favorite podcast player by visiting pod.link/clients. Today over in Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's the 19th. That means that what funnel should you leverage to land clients just went live. So if you want to understand everything about what's working right now for getting clients organically, getting more leads every single day and clients consistently every single week, that is a must tune in episode. Go look for episode 112 that went live today. So go and snag that. Today, we also have a double header. The internet was out here yesterday, and while I could have recorded this show without going live, I wanted to bring you guys the value, and I enjoy actually doing this live. So I'll be back here in a little bit to record today's actual episode. So this was for yesterday. Why I share that, just to give you some insight. Let's hop in and let's bring today's episode to life. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, we talk about one path for getting clients. You see, here's the issue. When you are developing your online coaching business, you are looking for examples from other coaches. And chances are you're looking at and observing coaches that you aspire to be like that are 3, 4, 5, 10 steps further along than where you're at right now. And what winds up happening to the best of the online coaches, to the best online experts, to the best authors, is that you wind up thinking that what they're doing is the right next step for you, when in all actuality, it's far more simple. And when you take too many steps too early and start implementing things that are not the right thing for where you're at right now, you wind up with a lot of complexity, and it gets harder and harder to get clients because you do not know what to optimize. And so I make the case for why you should have just one path to get leads every single day and clients every single week. That way you can simplify your online business to understand everything about what to do to create and to optimize and to even upgrade your singular path to get to 15K, to 30K, to 84K a month. That's $1 million year. Be sure to backtrack one episode to understand why you must create just one path to get clients. In today's episode, I want to talk about habits that kill your growth, habits that keep you from making the sort of progress that you're more than capable of, that you desire to make. Let's hop in and let's talk about it. Let's start by talking about what happens if you don't get today's episode right. The first thing that happens is that you get stuck and your results plateau. Results for getting leads, results for making revenue, results for getting your clients the results that they're looking for. And that's frustrating because you're doing the hard work of self-development. You're doing the hard work of showing up every single day, of doing shadow work, of practicing discipline in everything that you do, but it just doesn't seem to work. That's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is that you get burnt out of everything to do with your online business, of your own personal growth, and your constant striving for creating a better life for you, creating a better business that supports you, that supports your family, and that supports your clients. And that's frustrating because deep down inside, you know that you are meant for and are capable of so much more. So now we know what happens if you don't get today's episode right. You get stuck in your results plateau, and then that leads to burnout and potentially to never even coming back to continuing building upon and creating the business foundation that you know you're capable of. So now that we know what happens if you don't get today's episode right, let's now talk about these little habits that are killing your growth, stunting your progress, and keeping you from everything that you want. The first one is a little bit personal. And the first one comes down to the conversation you're having with yourself. You see, the issue is that most of us and most of you are having conversations in your mind where you're expecting the worst. You're interacting with your family members in your mind and expecting conversations to not go the way that you're wanting them. You're thinking about the upcoming sales calls that you have, the DMs that you have inside of your social media right now, and you're picturing them not going the way you're wanting. You're worrying about them. And when that starts to happen, you are now in a place of attracting those things. I am not saying come from a place of not caring. Let's reiterate that. I'm saying come from a place of not worrying. Because when you start to worry, you're putting yourself in an unrealized future. And we all know at this point in the show that if you've been listening to even the last 10 or the last 100 episodes of the show, what you think about, you bring about. And the more you focus in on conversations, visualizations, and scenarios that are not going your way, you're now adding energy to those future potentials and possibility, and you're beginning to attract those in. And you are far more likely, whether the next scenarios in your business or life happen the way you're wanting them, you are far more likely to now be attracting those scenarios into your present reality. There is only the current moment, and you must care deeply and must be of service with your prospects, with your clients, with your loved ones, and everyone around you. What you must not do is put yourself in a state of worry, in a state of anxious anticipation of things not going your way. You cannot control what happens in the future because the future is not real. It is not here. It is not now. Therefore, you can only control your thoughts, which will lead to the way that you feel, which is your emotions. It's the closest thing you have any control over too. So what you must begin doing is instead picturing things going your way. And I'm going to try to restart my iPad here 1 second because my notes just completely went away. If this is of any value for you, if you're getting insights from this, please do let me know over in the chat. I might need to bring them up here on my computer because my iPad is experiencing a conniption. Let's see if they're saved here. Here we go. Pardon me. All right, let me screenshot this just in case I have another issue. Boom, minimize. Here we go. So care, don't worry. Care about your current goals, care about your current state, care about your clients, and come from a place of service. What you must not do is worry. That's thing number one. Second, the second habit that's killing your progress and killing your growth in your online business. Now we talked a little bit about personal. Now let's talk a little bit about business. The second habit is focusing on vanity metrics over what's actually important and what's actually going to drive results in your online business. Too many of us, too many of you listening right now are focusing on the wrong things. We're focusing on how many eyeballs we have through our social media, and not that that's not important. And we're focusing on how many likes and comments and shares we're getting, and not that that's not important. Not that those are not metrics that you can track. But you cannot control when you put a piece of content out and how many people are going to consume it or get anything out of it or comment your word or leave their insights or any of those things. The only thing that you can actually control is showing up. Even better than focusing on the vanity metrics, and maybe even better than showing up on social media at all, is focusing on prospecting. Too many of you are focusing on the vanity metrics of your social media and your follower and your view counts over prospecting, over creating your next success stories, which will become your marketing and will become the reason why you get your next clients. Because those successful examples of your help and of you showing up and being of service will tell their friends, they'll tell other people, they'll allow for you to use their story and allow for you to use how you help them as a testimonial and as of ultimate proof. So what winds up happening is that you create reasons why other people should believe in you because you have real tangible proof. And right now, when you're focusing on how your social media is performing, how many subscribers you have on your list, and not that those things are not important to some degree, what will drive the results today in your online business is going through your pipeline, going through your DMs, going through your most warm prospects, asking referrals from your paying clients, and that's what's actually going to drive clients into your online business. Guys, it is so easy with how many things that you can focus on in your online business to be focused in on the wrong thing or to create a habit of focusing on the wrong thing, because many of you have also had success in your business, and for whatever reason right now, you're feeling like you can't get back to that point. And it all comes down to what are we focusing on? So if you're not making mistake number one that we talked about, which is worrying about the future, and creating scenarios, false scenarios in your mind that you're constantly running that make you feel bad, that don't make you feel good, and that are just anticipating bad things happening. If you're not making that mistake, let's say we've gotten you out of that habit, and now you're back to focusing on what it is you would like to create and feeling that now, thinking from the end and bringing that into the current moment. Now, what we must also do in the current moment, because action is the language of reality. Action is the language of manifestation when you get down to it. You cannot have attraction without action. It's in the word. And so, what you must begin doing is if you want to have, you must think it. That's thing number one. Second, you must be doing it. And you must be taking action. You got to think, you got to be by doing, and then you take action. Think, be, action, have. The closest thing that you are going to get to a paying client is by prospecting and having conversations with real living human beings who have the problem that you can solve, and inviting them to take the next step with you, inviting them to hop on a call, inviting them to a workshop, inviting them to your Facebook group, whatever it is you're in your one path that we talked about in yesterday's episode. That is what's going to lead you closer to getting more clients, not looking at and getting down on your vanity metrics and in what's not currently working. That's thing number two. Third, the third thing that is killing your progress and killing your growth is doing things out of order. Guys, the online business, specifically for online coaches, service providers, experts, authors, speakers, all of you, it's already been figured out. And you got to stop, number one, trying to reinvent the wheel. And number two, you got to stop Frankensteining things together. I don't care if it's my plan or someone else's. You have to find the blueprint. You got to find the roadmap that matches up with the kind of business and life that you are wanting. The easiest way I know of doing that, the only way that I've figured out for doing that for myself, is finding the person that I want to look like, that I want the results that they are showing and that they have, that whatever it is that they have. When it came down to my physical fitness, I found the person that had the body that I wanted, and I followed their thing, and I treat their word as God, so to say. And I do everything that they say and everything that they sell. I heavily consider it, if not just buy it without even thinking about it. I don't care if it's my plan or someone else's. You got to stop Frankensteining things together. You're listening to my podcast and someone else's podcast, and you're on the email list of Guru A, B, or Z, and you're trying to do all of these things. Then you see someone on YouTube talking about Instagram growth, so you get over there, and then you get down on where it's not right now. And then you start to try to do all these things, but you're not them, and you're not at the place that they are, and you are not taking the actions that got them to where they are. Yes, there is an argument for finding someone that is 10 steps ahead of you. There's also an argument for finding someone that's just one step ahead of you and understanding what is going to get you from each and using one as a catalyst to get to the 10. You got to stop doing things out of order. This is almost like, and I can attest to this a whole ton, I feel like there are many parts of my childhood I missed out on because I was just so mature at a young age. And while that's my story, many can relate with everyone wanted to be an adult when they were a kid, right? Everyone wanted to be able to reach the faucet. Everyone wanted to be able to drive. Everyone wanted to be able to do the thing that the older kids were doing or that the adults were doing. And when you start to do that, you miss out on where you're at. Think about how little responsibility we had as kids and how many of us were in such a rush to get out of that and to get into a rush of getting a job and a car, and basically, from the other perspective, adding a bunch of bills, creating the necessity to have a day job, putting on the golden handcuffs, and putting yourself in a situation where you're never actually able to be free enough to think about what it is you actually want versus seeing the projections of the outside world and choosing the things and going down the lifeline that everyone else wants for you. Now, I know you listening right now, you took that time to say what it is that I want. And what I want to give you here today is to say, continue asking that question and never stop the hunt for that. Back to what's killing your growth is we're doing things out of order. We're looking at people who are 10 steps down the road, and we are doing those things. So what we need to do is be optimizing our one path for getting clients. But what we're doing is we're adding in webinars and workshops and Facebook groups and email lists and landing pages and live streams and podcasts and content and short form and long form and LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. But none of those individual things are working. The only thing that is working is the newest thing, because you're putting a lot of energy into it, and then everything else dies off. And then that stops working because you're so scattered with, oh, I forgot about this. I got to get to LinkedIn. I got to take that long form and make the clips. I got to do this thing. I got to post this thing here. And then now you've completely forgotten about prospecting. You've completely forgot about your own self-development on focusing on the right thing and doing the right things right now. In the next episode of Client by Client, I want to talk about the Get Clients Daily Checklist, what to do every single day to guarantee that you're getting leads daily, clients weekly, and also setting yourself up to be getting clients down the road consistently and making that easier the longer you stay in business. Whenever you are ready, here are a few ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox? Well, you're losing leads in the cracks and leaving clients on the table every single month. That's why I created GetBookedCRM. Get leads and turn them into clients in half the time, and get it while it's still free. For your free copy now, just find me over on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Let me grab something here real quick because all my stuff is out of whack. 1 second, team. Boom. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I got hundreds of coaches from all over the world, all implementing my strategies for starting and growing an online information and coaching business. To get free trainings, access to those coaches, access to me, just find me over on Instagram and send me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of 15K worth of new clients or doubling your existing client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me. So only reply to this if you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 6 months to a year. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients organically from social media without wasting money and time on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or group. You are willing to take bold action because you know that your success upon it. And last, but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, tap that Instagram app icon, and find me at WhatUpJeremy. Binge on some content and give me a follow while you're there. And when you're ready, I want for you to message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business, about your vision for the next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, how we're already helping students from all over the world implement my methods and frameworks for getting clients consistently. And then we'll identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your business the soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. What's going on? Thanks for the fires. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Super appreciate you. Henry, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Hope everything's going well, brother. Guys, the hearts, the seeing all that, the thumbs up here, that means a whole lot, and that keeps me fueled again. Today we have a double header, so we're going to wrap this one up in a couple hours. I'm going to come back with what was supposed to be today's episode. The internet went down here, my side of town, so we got a little bit of a double header because I like going live and I like sharing these things here. It holds me accountable, makes the stakes a little higher, makes it a little bit more fun. Whatever your biggest insight was, drop a comment. Let me know what's standing out to you most. And if you made it all the way through to the end, drop me the word Monday, since this was supposed to be Monday's episode. Drop me Monday in all caps in the comments wherever you're getting this. I know you made it to the end. All right, team, that's it for me. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Binge on some content, binge on some reels. We've got a lot of them that have been going up over the last couple weeks. Maybe one inside of there that will help you get some leads and some clients today. All right, guys, see you back in a bit. Peace.